That same day Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places, where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly, because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear." The disciples came to him and asked, "Why do you speak to the people in parables?" He replied, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing but never understanding. You will be ever seeing but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous people longed to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. The seed falling among the thorns refers to someone who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke the word, making it unfruitful. But the seed falling on good soil refers to someone who hears the word and understands it. This is the one who produces a crop, yielding 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn." He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. "I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world." Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are angels. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. They will throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, Let them hear. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. Then they sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all these things? Jesus asked. Yes, they replied. He said to them, therefore every teacher of the law who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom new treasures as well as old. Hello. Today, I'd like to share a story about the kingdom of heaven, a topic many people are curious about but often have only a vague idea of. Even if you're not a Christian, words like heaven or paradise bring to mind an ideal place, a perfect world free from all worries. But Jesus said that this kingdom of heaven is not just a place you go to after death. It's a reality that is coming into our lives right now. In Matthew chapter 13, Jesus uses 7 parables to explain in detail the process of the kingdom's arrival. Through these stories, we can get a clearer understanding of how the kingdom of heaven begins, grows, and what it means for our lives. First, Jesus told the parable of the sower. Here, the seed is the word of God concerning the kingdom. This seed falls on 4 types of ground: the path, rocky ground, among thorns, and good soil. The seed itself is the same, but the outcome is dramatically different depending on the ground it falls on. This parable shows us that when the kingdom is planted in the ground of our hearts, the fruit it bears depends on our choice. It makes us ask ourselves, what kind of heart do I have? The following parable of the mustard seed and parable of the yeast explain how the kingdom grows. The mustard seed is the smallest of all seeds, but when it grows, it becomes a large tree where birds can nest. A small amount of yeast can leaven an entire batch of dough. These parables tell us that the kingdom's beginning is not grand or spectacular. They reveal that a kingdom which starts very small in one person's heart can grow quietly and steadily, possessing the powerful force to change the world. But the kingdom of heaven is not the only thing in the world. The parable of the weeds shows that evil also exists alongside the kingdom's growth. The good seeds, the people of the kingdom, and the weeds, the wicked, grow together, but the owner tells his servants not to pull up the weeds. Why? Because in doing so, they might uproot the precious wheat. This parable demonstrates God's patience and endurance, giving even the wicked a chance to repent until the day of judgment. So, what value does the kingdom hold for us? Jesus explains its value through the parable of the hidden treasure and the parable of the pearl of great value. A man, finding a treasure hidden in a field, was so filled with joy that he went and sold everything he had to buy that field. Another merchant, upon finding a single, extremely valuable pearl, did the same. He sold everything he owned to buy it. These parables tell us that the kingdom of heaven is the greatest treasure in our lives, incomparable to anything else. The person who discovers it is filled with such joy that they are willing to give up everything to possess it. This story poses a question to us. What is the most valuable thing in my life? And what am I willing to give up to gain it? Finally, the parable of the net shows us the completion of the kingdom. Just as a net cast into the sea gathers all kinds of fish, so all people in the world are called to the kingdom. But in the end, just as the good fish are separated from the bad, there will come a final judgment when the wicked will be separated from the righteous. This parable tells us that while the kingdom has a process of beginning and growing, it will ultimately be completed with a final judgment and restoration. Now, we must focus on Jesus, who is at the center of all these stories. Jesus was not just a storyteller in these parables. In every single story, Jesus is the main character. The one who sows the seed is Jesus. He is the one who plants the seed of the kingdom in our hearts. The one who sows the good seed in the field is also Jesus. He is the one who plants the children of God in the field of the world. The one who reveals the most precious treasure is Jesus. He is the one who helps us realize the true value of the kingdom and leads us to possess it. And on the day of final judgment, the one who gathers the harvest and sorts the fish is Jesus. These 7 parables are a roadmap showing how the kingdom of heaven comes into our lives and is completed. At the same time, they tell us that the beginning and the end of this entire process is Jesus Christ. The kingdom of heaven is not an abstract concept. It is a real grace given to us through Jesus, and it is through him alone that we can possess and experience that kingdom. I'd like to leave you with one final question. Having heard all these stories, what kind of ground is your heart right now? If you are ready for the seed to sprout, I hope you will willingly accept the seed of the kingdom that Jesus is planting and begin this amazing journey with him.